Hello everyone, John Caldwell here of Jammin Jon's Wrestling News for a Monday, August 13th, 2018. And this is no normal update today. This is actually a tragic update, some tragic news in the professional wrestling world. Former WWE star B. Brian Blair of the Killer Bees and Mean Gene Okerlund announced on social media today that Jim the Anvil Neidhart passed away at the age of 63. Neidhart, the father of WWE superstar Natalya, was best known for being part of the Hart Foundation tag team with Bret Hart in the 1980s and early 1990s, and the faction of the same name in 1997. Former WWE star Christopher Nowinski had recently noted that Neidhart was battling Alzheimer's disease. The WWE announced the following today: the WWE is saddened to learn that Jim the Anvil Neidhart passed away. Best known as the powerhouse of the legendary Hart Foundation tag team with his brother-in-law Bret the Hitman Hart, Jim Neidhart was also the father of current WWE superstar Natalya. Neidhart began his ring career after playing professional football with the Oakland Raiders and Dallas Cowboys in the NFL. He was trained by WWE Hall of Famer Stu Hart in the infamous Hart Dungeon in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and earned his ring nickname the Anvil after winning an anvil throwing contest. Neidhart married Stu's daughter Ellie to become a member of the legendary Hart family before making the move to WWE along with Bret the Hitman Hart, Dynamite Kid, and Davey Boy Smith when WWE purchased Stu Hart's Calgary Stampede Wrestling. Initially, Neidhart and Hart were managed by Jimmy Hart as the Hart Foundation and went on to win 2 WWE World Tag Team Championships. After several years of teaming with Bret's younger brother Owen Hart and some singles competition, the Hart Foundation was reformed in controversial fashion in 1997, consisting of Neidhart, Bret, Owen, Smith, and Brian Pillman. The pro-Canadian faction stirred United States crowds into a frenzy with their anti-American sermons. Neidhart last competed in WWE in 1997, but its legacy lives on today through his daughter Natalya, who displays her father's signature charisma and toughness every time she steps in the ring. The WWE extends its condolences to Neidhart's family, friends, and fans. And on behalf of Jammin Jon's Wrestling News, I want to send my condolences out to his family and friends, and of course Natalya as well, because she was very close to her father, and I really hate hearing about this. And on the tragic passing of the Anvil Jim Neidhart, here are some reactions to his death. Bret the Hitman Hart tweeted, "Stunned and saddened. I just don't have the words right now." Triple H tweeted, "The only thing bigger than his on-screen character was his heart. Jim the Anvil Neidhart loved performing with and spending time with his family, and he made us all smile while doing it. Thinking of Nattie, TJ, and the entire Hart family during this difficult time." Demolition Smash tweeted, "It is terrible. I just heard Jim Neidhart passed away. I just pray for his family to get through this. Jim was a great friend and I will really miss him." The Honky Tonk Man tweeted, "Oh gosh, just heard about the Anvil. Sincere condolences go out to the Neidhart family. Such a sad day." Shane Helms tweeted, "As a student of the game that loves tag team wrestling, I studied Jim and Bret's matches very closely, and without a doubt the Hart Foundation is one of the greatest tag teams ever. My heart goes out to Nattie and TJ and everyone else in Jim's circle." Tommy Dreamer tweeted, "Jim Neidhart was a great athlete. He was the power and strength of the Hart Foundation. I love their finishing maneuver. Celebrate his life. Watch his matches today. My heart hurts for his daughters, wife, and TJ. There is only one Anvil." James Storm tweeted, "My thoughts and prayers go out to Nattie and the entire Neidhart family. I was a big fan of the Hart Foundation growing up, and he always treated me with respect." Dr. Bruce Pritchard tweeted, "R.I.P. Jim the Anvil Neidhart. My heartfelt condolences to his family. Jim stood out in a unique world with one-of-a-kind personalities." And Jim Ross tweeted, "I'm heartbroken to hear of the sudden passing of my 30-plus year friend, Jim Neidhart. We met in the 80s when Bill Watts booked the Anvil in Mid-South, and Jim even coached Cowboy's son Micah on how to shot put. We lost a damn good man. R.I.P. Anvil." And also, Natalya issued the following statement on social media regarding the death of her father. Natalya wrote, "I can't put into words how hard it is going to be for myself and our family to have to say goodbye to my dad. He meant the world to us, and nothing will ever replace the special times we shared together as a family. My dad was always a fighter and an incredibly special person. There was no one like him. I'm just going to miss him so much. We are going to hold all of the moments we had with him close to our hearts forever and never let him go. I promise to keep your memory alive. We love you so much, Daddy. On behalf of my entire family, we would also like to personally thank everyone for the outpouring of thoughts and prayers. It's meant so much to us. Also, as far as I know at the moment, due to the death of Jim Neidhart, I think that the WWE is no longer going to do the Natalya Alexa Bliss match for tonight on Raw. I think that match has been canceled. I'm not 100% for sure about that. But the WWE is no longer advertising that match for tonight's episode. So I think it's best for Natalya to take the night off and be with her family. It's just such a horrible thing to hear about. And if I'm right on this, I'm not 100% sure about this. I could be completely wrong. But with the death of the Anvil today, I believe that makes 13 professional wrestlers that have passed away in just this year alone, folks. We had Big Bully Busick that died. Of course, the tragic death of Brian Lawler, Brickhouse Brown, the living legend Bruno Sammartino, Johnny Valiant, Masa Saito, Matt Capitelli, Nikolai Volkov, Paul Jones, The Rockin' Rebel, Vader, Brian Danovich, and now Jim the Anvil Neidhart. 13, as far as I know, wrestlers have passed away in just this year alone. That's one more than last year. Last year there were 12, I believe, that passed away. This year, as far as I know, it's not really 100% for sure 13 has passed away this year, but it's just been a very tragic year for professional wrestling. We have lost so many great legends and so much talent this year, and it's just so sad to hear about this. Jim the Anvil Neidhart, I didn't really watch a lot of his matches with the Hart Foundation because I wasn't born during that time. I actually became familiar with Jim, believe it or not, through the SmackDown vs. Raw games. Because I was born in 1994, so I grew up around the end of the 90s, early 2000s, mid 2000s and stuff, and so that's how I really found out about Jim. And then around, I think, 2007, 2008, I started watching some of his promos with the Hart Foundation, and I thought his microphone skills was incredible, saying that they were going to give their opponents a heart attack, and he would do this really sadistic, hysterical laugh at the end. The best laughs in the business, in my opinion, Brian Lawler, Jim Neidhart, and Jimmy Hart, and two of those are gone just in this year alone, and it's very sad. But he was amazing on the microphone. I watched some of his matches with Brett, part of the Hart Foundation, on the WWE Network and on YouTube and through wrestling DVDs. And he was a really amazing wrestler. And I remember seeing him on Total Divas. I believe it was the second season of Total Divas, because I only watched the first and second seasons, and I seen him on there. And it was good to see the Anvil, doing all right on Total Divas. I really hate to hear that he had Alzheimer's. That's a horrible thing to have. Man, just very, very tragic. And again, I want to send condolences out to the Hart family at this time, especially Nattie, because Nattie was very, very close to her dad, and I can't imagine what she's going through right now. So, Nattie, stay strong. I love you. To the Hart family, I love you. Send thoughts and prayers out to all of you. Just a very, very sad day for pro wrestling, and a very, very sad year. And also, do what Tommy Dreamer said to do. Watch his matches on YouTube. Watch them on the network. Watch his promos on YouTube and on the network. And in closing, I want to tell a story about Jim the Anvil Neidhart. My doctor, he's not a big wrestling fan. He's a casual wrestling fan. He watches it every now and then. And in the 90s, my doctor, I believe, was in Cincinnati, Ohio, or he was in Columbus, Ohio, at the airport. And he seen Jim the Anvil Neidhart waiting in line, and my doctor thought to himself, he doesn't really look that big. On television he looks real big, but in person he doesn't. I think I could take him on. And so my doctor went up to Jim Neidhart, thinking that he could take him on, and when he went up to him, Jim was a pretty intimidating looking guy up close. And so instead of challenging him, my doctor asked for his autograph and got his autograph. So that just shows you how intimidating and how intense Jim the Anvil Neidhart truly was, and how amazing of a person he was to give my doctor his autograph. He was a really cool dude. But I always thought that was a pretty cool story, and I wanted to share it all with you. Jim, he'll never be forgotten. And I know he's up there right now with Nikolai and Bruno and Bully and Grandmaster Sexay having a great time. And once again, thoughts and prayers, good vibes out to the entire Hart family, and especially Nattie and TJ. Just a horrible thing to hear about. I'll see you guys tomorrow, Tuesday. Till then, this is Jammin Jon saying thanks, goodbye. I'll see you tomorrow.